Most people get excited when planting season arrives. They buy seeds, prepare seedlings, plan their layout, maybe even invest in new tools. And then they walk outside, dig a hole, drop the plant in, water it, and hope for the best. When the plant struggles, they blame the weather, the seed quality, pests, or bad luck. What almost nobody questions is the soil itself, not just whether it has nutrients, but whether it is actually ready to support life. Before you plant anything, you need to fix your soil properly. Most people skip this step, and it quietly sabotages everything that follows. If your garden has ever looked weak, inconsistent, or disappointing despite your effort, there is a strong chance the real problem was underground. Plants do not grow in fertilizer. They do not grow in compost alone. They grow in structure. They grow in living, breathable, moisture-balanced soil that supports roots, microbes, fungi, and airflow all at once. When that foundation is broken, nothing you add on top will truly solve it. Today, we're going to walk step by step through exactly what to fix before planting anything. Not a quick hack, not a miracle product. A real preparation process that changes what happens underground. By the end, you will understand why this step matters, how to test your soil properly, how to reset it, and why waiting before planting might be the most powerful move you can make. Let's start with the uncomfortable truth. Most gardeners prepare their soil by adding something. They add fertilizer, they add compost, they add amendments, but they rarely prepare by observing. They rarely ask, is this soil physically capable of supporting root growth? Is it compacted? Is it suffocating? Is water moving correctly? Is biology active? You can pour nutrients into a compacted, lifeless medium and still end up with weak plants. Nutrients cannot fix structure, and structure is everything. Before we fix anything, we need to understand what we are fixing. Healthy soil has 3 core characteristics. It holds moisture without becoming water. It allows air to move through it, and it supports biological life. When any of these 3 are compromised, plant performance drops dramatically. The first thing to evaluate is compaction. Compacted soil is silent damage. It looks normal from the surface, but below it forms a dense layer that roots struggle to penetrate. When roots cannot expand, plants remain shallow, fragile, and dependent on constant watering and feeding. To test compaction, push a screwdriver or a small rod into the soil. If it resists strongly or only goes a few inches deep, you'll likely have compaction. Another simple test is digging a small hole about 8 to 10 inches deep. Observe how difficult it is to dig. Does the soil break apart easily in crumb-like chunks? Or does it come out in hard clods? If it feels like breaking concrete instead of slicing cake, that is a structural issue. The second evaluation is water infiltration. Pour water into the hole you dug. Watch how it behaves. If it disappears instantly and leaves the soil dry moments later, your soil lacks organic matter and moisture retention. If it sits there for several minutes without draining, you likely have compaction or poor structure. Healthy soil absorbs water steadily and evenly, holding moisture without flooding. The third evaluation is surface protection. Bare soil is exposed soil. Sunlight, wind, and heavy rain damage structure quickly. Without a protective layer, microbial life declines and moisture evaporates rapidly. If your soil surface is bare and dry, you are already starting at a disadvantage. Now that we understand the problems, let's move into the solution. Before you plant anything, you need to reset the soil environment. Think of this as preparing a house before moving in. You would not bring furniture into a building with a cracked foundation and poor ventilation. The same logic applies here. Step 1 is gentle loosening. Notice I did not say aggressive tilling. Deep tilling can destroy soil structure and microbial networks. Instead, focus on loosening the top 6 to 8 inches without flipping layers aggressively. Use a garden fork or broad fork, if available. Insert it into the soil and gently rock it back to create air channels. The goal is not to pulverize the soil, but to open pathways for roots and air. This alone can dramatically improve performance. Step 2 is diversified organic input. Instead of relying on a single material, combine different types of organic matter. Compost provides nutrients and microbes. Shredded leaves add carbon and improve structure. A small amount of aged manure can add biological activity. Mix these lightly into the top layer. Do not bury them deeply. Keep most of the biological material within the upper zone where roots will grow. Step 3 is moisture conditioning. After loosening and amending, water the area thoroughly. This activates microbial life and helps materials integrate, but do not plant yet. This is the part most people skip. They plant immediately after amending. Instead, allow the soil to rest for 7 to 14 days. During this period, microbes begin breaking down organic inputs. Fungal networks start forming, and the soil's planting too soon interrupts this process. Step 4 is surface protection. Apply a light layer of mulch, such as straw or shredded leaves. This protects the soil from erosion, regulates temperature, and maintains moisture. Leave small openings where you plan to plant later, but keep the majority covered. While the soil rests, something powerful happens underground. Microorganisms begin consuming organic matter, releasing nutrients slowly in plant-available forms. Fungi extend microscopic threads through the soil, increasing nutrient and water exchange. Air pockets created during loosening allow oxygen to circulate, supporting root respiration once plants are added. This is not visible from the surface, but it is transformative. After the resting period, return and test the soil again. Push your tool into it. Notice the difference. It should feel softer, more elastic. Dig a small section. Observe the texture. It should crumble rather than break apart in slabs. Smell it. Healthy soil has a rich, earthy scent. That smell comes from active life. Now you're ready to plant. When placing seedlings or seeds into this prepared soil, disturb as little as possible. Create just enough space for roots. Place the plant and gently firm the soil around it. Water lightly to settle, then replace mulch around the plant base, leaving a small gap to prevent stem rot. What you will notice over the next weeks is subtle but powerful. Plants establish faster. They show less transplant shock. Leaves appear stronger. Growth is steadier, not explosive and weak, but stable and resilient. You will likely find yourself watering less frequently because moisture retention improves. You may also notice fewer disease issues because healthy soil biology competes with harmful organisms. It is important to understand why this works. Roots need oxygen as much as they need nutrients. In compacted soil, oxygen levels drop. This stresses plants even if nutrients are present. Loosening improves aeration. Organic matter acts like a sponge, holding water while allowing excess to drain. Microbial life converts raw materials into forms plants can absorb gradually. Everything becomes balanced. Many gardeners chase fast growth through heavy fertilization, but rapid growth in weak soil creates dependency. Plants grow tall but fragile with shallow roots. When stress or rise heat wind, peste collapse. Strong soil creates strong plants from the beginning. There is one more mistake to avoid. Do not overcorrect. Adding excessive compost or manure can overwhelm the system and create nutrient imbalances. Balance is key. Aim for improvement, not overload. Think in layers, not piles. If your soil is extremely degraded hard clay or sandy and lifeless, you may need multiple cycles of this preparation before achieving ideal results that is normal. Soil building is a process, not a one-time event. Each season you repeat this preparation before planting. Structure improves further. Over time, the effort required decreases because the soil becomes Another important element is root development. After your first planting cycle, consider rotating crops or adding cover crops in off-season. Cover crops such as legumes or grasses send roots into the soil that further break compaction and add organic matter. when cut and left on the surface. This continues the improvement cycle naturally. Observe your soil throughout the season. Lift mulch occasionally and look for earthworms. Their presence is a strong indicator of healthy structure and biology. Notice how water behaves during heavy rain. Does it pool less than before? Does the surface stay moist longer during dry periods? These are signs your preparation is working. Before each new planting, repeat the evaluation process. Test compaction. Check moisture behavior. Add organic diversities. Loosen gently. Rest this soil. Protect the surface. This routine becomes your pre-plant protocol. It may feel slower at first, but it prevents months of frustration later. Gardening success is rarely about what you add after planting. It is about what you prepare before planting. When you shift your focus underground, results above ground change dramatically. Instead of reacting to plant problems, you prevent them. Imagine two gardeners starting the same day. One plants immediately into compacted soil and hopes fertilizer will compensate. The other spends 2 weeks preparing, loosening, amending lightly, watering, resting, and protecting the surface. At first, the second gardener appears slower, but weeks later, their plants outpace the first in strength, resilience, and yield. Preparation always wins. The step most people skip is patience, combined with structural correction. It does not feel exciting. It does not produce instant visible results, but it builds the invisible network that everything else depends on. If you take one lesson from this entire process, let it be this. Do not rush planting. The urge to put something in the ground quickly is strong, especially at the start of a season. But pausing to fix your soil properly is an investment that pays back for months, even years. Strong soil holds water more efficiently, reducing irrigation needs. It supports beneficial microbes that protect roots naturally. It allows roots to explore deeper layers, accessing nutrients beyond the surface. It resists erosion. It stabilizes temperature fluctuations. All of these benefits originate from that initial preparation step. And remember, this is not about perfection. It is about direction. Each time you prepare correctly, you move the soil ecosystem closer to balance. Over time, you will need fewer corrections and fewer inputs. Your garden becomes more so before you plant anything you open a seed packet or buy a transplant walk to your garden and kneel down. Touch the soil. Test it. Loosen it gently. Feed it modestly. Water it. Let it rest. Protect it. Then plant. Most people skip this step because it is invisible. But what happens underground determines everything that happens above. When you fix the soil first, planting becomes easy, growth becomes predictable, and gardening stops feeling like a constant struggle and starts feeling like a partnership with a living system. That is the difference between planting into dirt and planting into prepared soil. And once you experience that difference, you will never rush the process again.